Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's go, everybody. Let's go. Sorry about the delay. That's a well. One quick thing to note is that if you don't start your group within 10 minutes, it will just automatically be canceled. But the thing was, I had to restart my browser, and I don't know what was going on. But I'm in here now. Welcome, everybody. We're gonna get started. Just let everybody kind of roll in here just a quick second, and then we're gonna get going. Today, we are gonna do a deep dive of the product experience like we've been doing over the last couple weeks. But what we're also going to do is we got a really cool theme that's something I'm just crazy passionate about. It's called design energy. And we're going to talk about design energy and how to sustain that design energy along the way, and also talk about using the GrowthDay app along the way too. So if this is your very first growth group, I just wanted to welcome you. If this is your first growth group also, just please put in the chat like that this is your first growth group. And I would love to hear like what you think about maybe when you think of the word or you hear the word design energy. That's just one question. If you got any thoughts around that, I'd love to hear in the chat like what you think about. The other thing that I want to talk about today, or just want to learn from you as well, like what things in the app you're currently struggling with, what things in the app you maybe are loving. Just wanted to make y'all feel safe. This is a safe space, so feel free to share your thoughts, and we're gonna just get after it today. All right, cool. Welcome. Hey, Shelly, this is your first growth group. Sweet. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Cool. All right. Well, the chat's going to be open the entire session. So if you do end up thinking of something and you want to talk about it, we can make sure that that happens. So let's just get after it. So welcome. My name is Drew Bridewell. I'm head of product and design here at GrowthDay. I been incredibly blessed to be able to help build this product from 0 to 1. You're using it now as 1. We have tools, we have community, we have learning, live coaching. And what you're experiencing right now is what we call growth groups. And growth groups was founded so that we could have more social learning experiences where we're sharing intent and just intentional discussions around the things that you're trying to learn or you're trying to grow in. And luckily, we can also use this moment to help teach you how to get the most out of the tool and show you, the dashboard, show you the journal, show you the life score, show you the challenges, show you the growth profile. And also just show you how all of them kind of connect into what we also call a growth loop, which is, helping you learn how to reflect, helping you learn how to plan, take those plannings and turn them into learning opportunities, and take those learning opportunities into action. And, that's also another way that we can look at the growth loop. So, all right on outside. Okay, cool. All right. So first, and I want you to also know that you can follow me. I'm going to share my screen, but you can follow me like literally by staying in this browser. You can go to the home page, you can go to the journal, you can go to the other pillars of the app while we're in this growth group, and you'll see what we have, like a little mini player or a little growth group mini player that allows you to still like go to your journal while you're in a growth group, and you'll see a little picture of all the group in the bottom right when you do that. And just to kind of orient yourself with the tool today, I'm gonna walk you through the app and show you the app, but I also have a couple things on the agenda. And people will keep coming in as we go, but the 3 things that I want to talk about today along the vein of this tool is I'm gonna drop in a chat right here. These 3 things. So when this week for me is Design Energy Week, and I have a consecutive 12 weeks that we're doing this series. And this week's Design Energy, next week is Design Clarity. The following week after that is Design Productivity. And then we'll follow and end the month with a term that I call Design Impact. Now, each of these things, obviously I'm a product and design professional. So when I think about these things, I'm also thinking about in my role in my discipline. But I think it's also good to think about like in your discipline, in your role, in your career, whether you're retired, or whether you're a stay-at-home mom, whether you're homeschooling, whether you're a professional in HR, whether you're doing things in event planning and event management, whatever you do, there is these similar ingredients of you're going to need to be able to design and architect how you show up, and also the energy that you bring into these sessions. So I think the 3 core things that I'm going to drop about today is talking about consistency, focus, and just how to build in consistent momentum, excitement. So we'll talk about that today too, and then I have some other things that I'm going to share. All right, sweet. All right, so I'm just reading the chat. I'll keep checking in on the chat if any other questions come in or if you have any just things you want to discuss. So the first thing that I want you to do is know that we have actually keyboard shortcuts inside of the GrowthDay app. So if you wanted to go to the dashboard right now, you could click 1 on your keyboard. If you wanted to go to the journal, you could hit 2 on your keyboard. If you wanted to go to the life scores, you hit 3. The plan is 4. The challenges is 5. The learn pillar is 6. And the community is 7. And if you even wanted to be able to get feedback on the tool, like we have a little modal that pops up on the screen, and this is how we can get feedback. If there's bugs or issues that you are seeing in the product experience, then you can report those and share a video or a screenshot to be able to help us capture it, improve it, find out where that bug came from, and then we'll go and squash that bug. That's what we really are trying to maintain, high level of craftsmanship in this product. So if you do catch something, just let us know so we can go fix it. All right, so what I want to do now is share my screen. And I'm going to share my screen so you will see kind of this like duplicated picture. So I'm going to hit 1 on my keyboard and head over to the dashboard. And I'm going to hit Command plus on my keyboard just to zoom in a tad bit more for you. All right. Okay, so let me know if you can see. You can still see my screen. And you can follow along with me by literally going to the dashboard right now, and you'll see what you see on my screen, or you can just watch it through the smaller screen in the growth group. Okay, great. So the first thing that I want to like kind of get you oriented with is this is your dashboard. If you've already kind of been walked through on what the dashboard is, it's just like going to be a good reminder. The dashboard is your home for personal growth. We have all the tools in the first column, and the cool thing about these are you can also, if you want to deprioritize, your journal, or if you want to move your journal up, you can just click and grab the handlebars on the left side of the title and move these up or down. And this will also just allow you to be like, I always want my journal to be first, or if I always want my life scores to be first, I can just move my life scores up, and then I have my tools that I want to use up at the very top. The other thing is you'll notice that a lot of these tools have what we call carousels. And a carousel is just the action of being able to swipe through multiple pieces of content. So for the journal, when you see a journal in the morning and you see this morning mindset, and we have over 140 plus, like we have over 140 different prompts in the tool that you can kind of swipe through. And these growth prompts are all research-backed, evidence-based. So these were researched by Brendan and our head research scientists when they were writing some of Brendan's old books. They also were capturing a lot of these prompts of what worked and what didn't work when they were doing their research with high performers, Olympians, athletes, professional athletes, billionaires, like just what successful high performers were doing. And they were documenting a lot of these questions. You can't drag yours. So Deb, I would ask you, what is your membership? Deb, what is your membership today? Because you have to have at least a starter, pro, or all access. You should see a little tiny 6 dots to the next of your journal of your title, and that little, it will like be on hover when you hover over the element, and then you click and you'll see the little hand, and that's when you can drag up and down. And if you still can't do it after watching me do it and demonstrate it here, then feel free to DM me on the community. Just go to community, search Drew Bridewell, and make sure that you can get a little bit of extra support on how to do that. You should be able to do it, definitely. If you don't have a subscription, then you can't drag these things up and down because you don't have access to the tools. All right, cool. So you got these prompts. You can swipe through the prompts, and I know that there was another question about yeah, gotcha. Marlene had a really good question about it. She wishes there was a prompt to reflect and looking ahead in the new month. The cool thing about this tool is we've made it in a way that is super agnostic to how you want to show up and how you want to design your own growth systems. And this growth group is really about me, on top of showing you how to use the tool, you can actually develop your own growth systems by creating the plans and also journaling practices in the tool that, are mainly only for you to do. So what I mean by that is when we get to the plan tool, I'll show you how to set your own custom reminder. So you could get a custom reminder if you have an interest or a prompt that you want to write and journal about before, looking ahead into the new month or looking into last month. You can set 2 reminders, one for the next month and one for the previous month, and just get reminded about that at the end of the month every month. And you can set up to be a monthly reminder, and then you just get a reminder to do that, and then you just go into your journal, copy and paste your prompt, and then you can just start writing that out. And that's something you could do without like us having to build a custom new prompt for you in the tool. There's just so many different ways that you can do that. But let me keep going through the homepage, and Marlene, if that made sense, let me know. If not, I can follow up and show you exactly how to do that when we get to the plan tool. So as we move down the homepage, there's 3 different life scores. There's the daily, weekly, and monthly. Now, these are capturing all of your life scores from the beginning of your growth group or Growth Day membership all the way till present day. And life scores are really a helpful way for you to have a benchmark on how you're performing over across our 10 categories for daily, our 6 categories for weekly, and our another 10 categories for the monthly life scores. When you go into these cards, you have the ability to go to the history. You can also hit suggestions, and suggestions are going to give you some video recommendations on things that you can improve for your lower scores. So you'll have results from your life scores, but you'll also have focus areas, and those focus areas are just your lower scores that you had for that month. And you know what, if you get a low score, don't beat yourself up over it. Just get in there and reflect and think about, oh, my score was a little bit lower, what's 1 or 2 things that I can do to improve the score for the next month. So it's really just about giving you a benchmark and not trying to be super judgmental about how you're performing, because we all have bad days and we all need a little bit of a boost to get back into our groove, and that's completely fine. So, okay, cool. Yeah, perfect. Nice idea, Marlene. Marlene had a good suggestion in the comments. So on the dashboard, we also have your RSVPs of the growth groups that you have RSVP to. We also have the video courses recommendation. If you don't have a all access membership, I'd encourage you to get the all access membership this year so you can have access to all the video courses. We are releasing new master classes from old replays that we have, and these are great packaged up content. We go do all the post editing, we package up all the 10 or so different it's one topic, but 10 or so different coaches and perspectives, build those into masterclass series, and those are really starting to be really just incredible value. If you want to go check those out on the learn section, I'll show you that too. But you can just click through the different courses that you can watch, and as you start making progress on that, you'll get a little indicator of the progress green bar that will show up at the bottom of the card. Same thing for audio courses. Same things if you did sign up for a starter membership or the high performance assist, you'll see a little bit of a card here. You can access all the different elements to that. Like if you have plans, you'll also see the plans in, we show the top 3 plans in your section. In your section, you can click and open these things up, and it just gives you a little bit of an aerial view into your plan, your actions. And then you have the other challenges we can go to as well. So left side is all about your growth, all about your personal tools that you have across the board. And the right side is about upcoming events, featured content, and our daily fire. So if you're new also to Growth Day, it's important to know that Brennan does a daily fire every single day, and he is talking about relevant, timely events that are happening current day. And this is like a daily thing. Sometimes it's 10 minutes, sometimes it's an hour. It just depends on the subject matter of the day. But that's something you can look to every single day. And one big thing is if you visit the app, you'll notice the actual phone app, you'll notice that inside the app, once it starts loading, the daily fire will be at the top. If you are seeing a daily fire maybe from yesterday, it might just mean you just need to refresh your app. And to do that, you can just hold up and then swipe it up and then force quit it. Then you could just reopen the app, just re-tap open the app, and then you're in business. Now we do have something cool too, which is we have a day mode and a night mode. So depending on your time zone and where you're at today, you might even be seeing a night mode right now because it's late for you. And when you wake up in the morning, you'll have daytime, which is a kind of a fun little feature that we added in the product, just so you're like, oh yes, it's daytime. I'm still using the GrowthDay app. It's pretty cool. The other thing that we have on the dashboard is your past replays. So if you did attend, or if you're a pro subscriber, you'll see the monthly or the weekly replays that are up here, and we break these things out for you so you can just tap in and click through these things. If you did start watching a course, you'll see the continue learning and also your latest recommendation for your lowest score. So we always show like a couple other recommendations of featured content just to help you stay motivated and keep you moving in the right direction. So before I move on, are there any questions about the dashboard before I kind of just keep the ball rolling? Any questions? Feel free to in the chat. I'll just wait for a second just to see. All right. Great. Yes, Deb, I am recording the session, so you'll have access to this later time. If you just need additional like tips, tricks, best practices, no problem. All right, let's move on to the journal. So again, I can click 2 on my keyboard. It's going to take me to the journal, and I know that there are. Let me just actually open up my morning journal just so you're not seeing all my private journal entries there. Now, the cool thing about the journal is a lot of times, and a lot of the feedback that we've gotten from customers and clients and strivers like yourself is they often don't know what to write about. And that's exactly why we created the journal prompts at the bottom. You can see them down at the bottom here, where you have morning mindset, evening review, growth prompts, weekly review, monthly review. These will change as you tap through them. Now, obviously, if you start typing and filling out all of your morning mindset and then you're like, I want to go to a different section, we will prompt you and make sure that you actually want to do that so you don't lose all the things that you just wrote. Or you could just submit it and then come back to it. But also, if you wanted to write other prompts and you wanted to be able to change these prompts out, you could just keep tapping on the growth prompts and it will continue to cycle through. Like so. Cycle through. And that way you can just change this until you found a prompt that you really want to write about. And again, like I said earlier, there's over 100 prompts in here, so you can just keep going through these as you see fit and be able to access that. The other nice thing about the journal that you might not have known is we have this calculator over on the right that's keeping track of all of your journal entries for the month. Now, if I was to go back through the month, January of 2023, I want to journal every single day of this new year, so I can keep track of that. And I can go through each of these days, and I can click on these days, and I can see what I was writing on that day, and I can tap in and see like that day. I actually journaled about every single one of my meetings on that day, and this was a really helpful thing for me. And I just want you to know that this is a possibility for you to keep track of your days. So I have what I did yesterday, what I'm doing today. I've already journaled twice today. I had a couple meetings earlier in the day, and I just want you to know that this is for you as well. So as you go through and do your journal entries, you can see them on the right sidebar. And just as a reminder, the journal is 100% private. It's only for you. Nobody has access to it unless you're sharing your screen like I'm doing. You can see it, but this is very important that you know that nobody else has access to your journal. It's 100% private. If you end up canceling your subscription and you end up leaving GrowthDay for a little bit, but you end up coming back, we do save this unless you request to delete your data, but we do keep it in there and it's locked down. That way, if you need to take a month or two off from your subscription, you come back, we will not delete everything. You'll just come back and resubscribe. But the problem, if you cancel your membership, you won't be able to use the journal. You will be able to read your journal, but you won't be able to edit your journal. Hope that makes sense. But let's keep you around. I mean, like the power of GrowthDay is using it and continuously for the entire, your entire years and continuing building on the knowledge and experiences that you're developing in yourself. So cool. So we went through the journal. Right. Now let's jump over into life scores. Now I do have, I left open my daily life score, and I want to kind of go through this with you today, just in case you've never kind of gone through a life score and the types of questions that you can ask yourself. And this can be really a fun way to kind of reconnect to the intention and the purpose of your day. So you're like, oh yeah, how am I across all 10 of these categories? So I'm going to do that for you real quick. But also, I just want you to know, after you do this, you're going to see these 3 buttons at the top of a card inside of your activity. These allow you to reconnect to your recommendations that you had for the score. They also allow you to even journal about that score. So if you are feeling a little bit low, or if you're even feeling high, what were the things that were leading to that energy throughout your days? And you can also share this and post this to social media, just if you want to let other people know that you're journaling and life scoring inside of the app. So let's go do a daily habit score. All right, so this product experience too, there's 10 questions, and if you go through and you make a mistake, you can always go back and answer the previous question. But let's just go through this. So I knew my why, and I lived intentionally today. Right now, Thursdays are my like big jam days of training and coaching and teaching. I'm feeling like I got super clarity today, so I'm gonna give myself a 5. My energy today is design energy day 2, so I'm very focused on the energy that I'm bringing into the day. I'm gonna give myself a 5. Necessity, I felt like it was necessary to be my best. Yes, I do feel like it's a necessity, but I'm gonna give myself a 4 because I think I can do a little bit better throughout the rest of the day. Productivity, super efficient, super effective. Got up early, started working on the things that matter most. Got this. Okay, great. So I'm going to give myself 5. My influence, guided and treated people well today. Yep. Let's do this. My courage, share my real self, my thoughts and feelings today. Still got to do some more social media stuff today. Got to post some things to my team. So I'm going to give myself a 4 today. I can do a little bit better on this. My movement, it's raining and pouring outside, so I'm gonna probably give myself a 3 on this, but I need to make sure that I get out for the rest of the day. So maybe I'll come back and maybe I'll change that. Maybe my mood's feeling good today. Sleep great, and nutrition, my wife just brought me a green drink. It was a celery drink, and I had my kind of celery shot today, which is great. I'll give myself a 5. So get my score, get my ratings. I can come in and see my history on this. I can see how I scored. And now I get these 2 recommendations. Now the important thing to know here is, like, when you come back to your life scores and you want to go into your history, I can go see my history of all my life scores, and I can see how I progressed. So my necessity was down 2%. My courage was down 8%. My movement was down 7%. I can see these things, and I can look at my scores across all categories, or I could just go into my productivity and look specifically at my productivity across the entire year. Now, if you invest in doing this regularly, like making it a habit to come in here, then you can start seeing, like, how am I feeling? When am I feeling not so good? When am I feeling great? And just being intentional and aware of that is going to be really helpful from building like a growth system for yourself. You can always come back in here to these recommendations and these journals. I hope this is helpful so far. I hope you're getting something out of this. Let's keep going to the plan, because I know that the plan tool is also really helpful when seeing like all the different ways that we can use the plan tool. And again, I'm really focused today on these themes of, let me go back to my notes, Design Energy Week. So when you start thinking about the like consistency, I think consistency is used to be one of my really big words that I would focus on, even though like my bracelet right now is about creation. Consistency is one of those things that helps you maintain your energy. Now, if you're consistently not doing the things that are, keeping you energized, like eating well, like getting exercise, like making sure you know what your priorities are, knowing where you need to be more efficient, knowing where you can build and get some more skill development, maybe knowing like what things could you do a little bit faster, or what things is it okay if you're a little bit slower on those things. Like knowing and having some intention around those things, I think is really helpful with when it comes to consistency. But like from a design perspective and a product perspective, we really strive for consistent action because it allows the team that you work with to know what to expect from you. And if you're constantly sharing things or not sharing things, and or you're not like communicating certain events, it's hard to know like what to expect from your teammates. So we really strive to, when we're building products and services and experiences, we really strive to be incredibly consistent with our actions. It helps our team anticipate where we're going to be and what we're going to be doing. So even like from a habit scoring perspective, it's important that you're consistent with your scores. That way you can actually get a benchmark of how you perform on a daily basis. And when you go into your weekly or monthly scorecards, you can also see how your trend lines across the year, just so you have a benchmark and know, okay, yeah, I'm like doing okay here, but what could be better? What could I do a little bit better? Same thing if you're doing your monthly whole life scores and you're going into your health, your mental and emotional, your partner in love, your family, your friends, your mission, your experiences, your spirit, finances, and learning. Like across all these categories, thinking about, well, okay, for my spirit, what could I be doing a little bit better this month? Why was it like 90% and why was it like 100% in October? What was I doing in October that gave me 100%? You know what I mean? Thinking through those things and having those talks and reflections inside the tool, it's going to serve you in the long run. So I'll come back to this. So the second thing that I was calling out in the design energy week is like focus pillars. Now, for me, like in the team that we have here at GrowthDay, it's so important for us to know where we need to focus our efforts. We have an incredibly high performing team, and not having them focus on the things that they need to focus on can be something that would like lower their energy, right? If we can maintain consistent actions and they know where they need to be focused and the energy they need to be focused on the priorities, then they can actually be more focused and deliver better results because they know where to spend and kind of focus their energy. Now that's why like when I'm thinking about design energy and how I design this week and how I design these interactions that I have, I really like to use the plan for this. And I use the plan in a way that allows me to organize the intentions that I want to bring into the day, into the week, into the month. But I like to call them systems because I don't like just a 20 item task list that I create inside of the plan tool, because that doesn't necessarily serve me at a bigger capacity. I want to be able to know like, okay, I got my rituals, I got my routines, I got my habits. I'm organizing what those things are inside of my plan tool, so that when I know that I need to show up, I know where those things are going to fit into my schedule. I know when I'm going to time box and execute those things. I know when I'm going to be recording and shooting these talks and these events. And then I know when I'm going to be serving my team and helping them advance their projects forward, helping them advance things forward. Same thing with my friends, same thing with my family. Like I need to know what those focus areas are for them so I can also make sure that we're pointing in the right direction. So let me and last week I actually made this development plan because last week we were talking about practice. If you also want to check out any of the previous growth groups and where we do talk about these trainings, then you can go to the community page, search my name, and you can see all my previous posts where I also post these on Sundays, so you can see all the previous sessions. Cool. So one of the things that we're doing also this year for the Year of Mastery, and this is a series that Brendan's doing, if you're an all access member, I believe you get access to this, is we have these 3 E's. We have this week ahead, we have the Q1 rocks, and the family rituals routine. These are plans that I've created inside the tool where I can get reminded about these things. And here, let me move this over to the left side. I get reminded about these things, and I just want to remind you that the plan can not only be a list of like your needle moving actions, your rituals, your routines, the things that you want to keep track of. It can also be a reminder mechanism that you use when you're watching a course and you wanted to get reminded about the 4 or 5 key takeaways that you had in that course. You could come over to like you say you're watching a course. You can be watching the course still and come over to the plan and be taking a couple notes about the course that you're watching. Let's just say you're attending some of the old replays that we have. You're coming in and you can create a title inside the plan around, in this example, it's the 3 E's. So in this 3 E's, I have 5 key things that I want to do when I'm thinking about these 3 E's. And one was like, what can I get excited about this week? The other one was, what can make this experience even better? And then the third one was, what would make this overall event excellent? Like, what would make it just an excellent experience? I have these five prompts where I'm like thinking about new family routines. This is something I'm really trying to dial in and get focused on and improve. The other thing is like innovative, being creative, being inspired, and being motivated. These are like keywords that I want to make sure that I'm being super intentional every day, that I'm working those things. And you know what? Not every day is perfect, but I have a prompt there that I'm going to get reminded 12 p.m. weekly on Mondays about this, so that when I show up, I'm bringing the energy. I'm bringing that consistent, focused, prepared energy to my day. And again, it's not going to be perfect every day, but that's how I want to show up. So I'm going to make notes and I'm going to get reminded about that, and I can use my plan tool to do those things. Hope that makes sense. Then I have like the week ahead. The week ahead are just things that I need to do on Sundays to prepare for my week ahead. These are systems that I've created, and you can use the plan tool to create your own systems for the things that you need to do every single week. So on Sundays, these are the things I like to do. I like to post a LinkedIn article. I like to email my customers that I'm training. I like to have an email announcement about the week ahead and what's going on in the week ahead. I like to do like last week was action planning and practice. This week is design energy. So training about design energy. And, you know, I can just go through here and update the system so I know what's going on and I know what I'm doing. Fun, play, cook, work out on the weekends. So it's another way to use the plan tool. Now, again, if you wanted to set like one-off reminders, you can hit, let me just make sure I re-click that again. You can hit set reminder. And then when you hit set reminder, you can just come in here and create any type of reminder that you want. Like, I had some in my history, like fly like an eagle. I had some that were create harmony and model. I had some that were be consistent, passionate, courageous. If you haven't set up a reminder yet today, I want to encourage you to set up a reminder about 3 words that are going to remind you how you want to interact with your friends, your family, and your teammates. Like, what are 3 words that you can use as like a kind of a motivating factor that you're going to get reminded about this maybe every day for the next the next 3 months. And you're going to get reminded about these things so you can show up and get after it every single month. So you can set it up. I'll just create harmony. I want to get daily reminder, and I'll get a daily reminder at like say 4 p.m. And you can just create that reminder. Once it's created, it comes over here and you can see it at the top of the list. I have the ability to turn it off, and I have the ability to turn it on. I'm going to delete this because I already have one down here at the bottom. I just wanted to show you how this works. So I'm going to delete this and come back to my plan. Cool. Any questions about the plan tool? And I'll open up the chat just to see if there's any questions. Cool. Keep going through here. All right. Just making sure. So we talked a little bit about consistency, a little bit about like focusing and pointing your energy, like pointing it with, you know, what the energy that you're bringing into life scores, being able to reflect and journal about that inside of the journal. Being able to plan things that you're trying to create, like systems. Like I had even other systems around, like, you know, people that I'm mentoring. You know, from December, November, October of last year, like these 3 months, I had some really big things that were working. So I had plans for those things. I also have like even a daily planner that is kind of like more of a reminder of things that I want to do every day. But once you create these systems, you can start making these like a habit. And just like in baseball, you know, it's like you build that muscle memory in your sports. Like I was an athlete, I still can reconnect to the habits and patterns that I created when I was an athlete. And one of those is just like when you do something consistently, time and time again, you start to build that muscle memory. And the same thing for like every day, I want to know like what my top priorities are for the day, what people I need to reach out to, what's the mindset I need to have to win the day. What am I grateful for? What are some things that I can meditate on to get a little bit more clarity or reflect on? Maybe something's a little bit stressful. Maybe something's happened. I need to like, how am I going to like release some of that tension? What kind of fitness am I going to have? Am I going to get a workout doing this? Am I going to be stretching today? What is my things that I'm going to do? And then I need to think about how I'm going to be integrating all those things that I need to do with my rituals, my routines, my habits, and my high performance habits. And if you haven't yet been introduced to high performance habits, we're talking about clarity, influence, courage, productivity, and, you know, just really tapping into those things. If you haven't yet read the high performance book, you can also tap in and which is okay. You can also tap into our featured course, and I'm going to come over this, hit the Learn page, come over to the Courses tab. I'm going to move this down a little bit. Thanks, Teresa. The other thing that you got in the Learn period, like this high performance habit builder tackles the 6 high performance habits. So when you click on this high performance habits, you'll be able to see the 6: clarity, energy, necessity, productivity, influence, and courage. These top categories. Brendan goes into deep training across all of these things. And these are like 30, 40-minute courses on each of these. So he's going very deep and detailed. This is a course that you can watch every year to really just get a good foundation of building those foundations for high performance. And now that you got this access, you just need a starter membership to get in the game to be able to watch this. That's $50 a year. Then if you want to really go big and unlock all of the live coaches that we do every single week, there's like 2 to 3 coaches that go live every single week. This is really impactful stuff. So next up, we have Lori and Lisa Billieu, Lori Harder, and they're going to be talking about how to bring out the best in others. Now, Brennan just went live yesterday and was talking about that. So that will probably be up in the replays probably like today or by the end of the week. And you'll see that over here in this section where it says past replays and workshops. And the cool thing about this too, which you might not have seen, is you can sort this by topic if you're a pro member. And you can also sort this by the coach that you maybe want to see previous content. So obviously we cycle through a lot of coaches because they're doing their books and traveling and doing their workshops, and we cycle in new coaches. And right now we got some new coaches like Natalie Ellis, we got Trent Shelton, we got Lori Harder, we have Mel Abraham, Danielle Candy. Like, we have a lot of new coaches that have also been introduced to the platform, so we get that really good diverse perspective of new coaches coming in. And you're always going to see a different framework and a different setup of how they think about these things. And it's just really exciting to see these. Like, even last month, we were talking about starting your dream and hearing 8 or 9 different perspectives about how to start your dream from our crew of coaches. It just gives you another level of perspective, another level of thinking about this in 9 different directions and different ways. We go live every Wednesday, and I think this is a really fun thing. I've been attending all of these things and taking notes. And guess what? When you are taking notes across the growth groups like you're in right now, or taking notes from the courses like the Habit Builder course I was just showing you, you can also see those notes all in one place. So you can get notes from the very top of the page, and what these notes are going to do, it's like a repo or a repository of all of your notes from all the sessions that you had. So even today in my sessions, like I was taking notes or had prepped notes around the things that I was going to be talking about, but I also have notes from the entire session, from Brendan's session, about bringing out the best of others. So you'll see the thumbnail and you'll see all the other things. And just as a heads up, if you haven't yet seen this, and I'll put it in the chat because you're all here right now, I'm going to give you a special link to check out the special deal. If you want to see us live and meet us in person, come check us out in Austin, April 20th through the 23rd. This is an early bird ticket, and this allows you to actually, the first 500 people that sign up for this, they might even already be sold out. And this is going to be a ton of fun. We'll be able to actually meet in person, and we're going to go deep with coaches and have 3.5 days with GrowthDay. It's going to be super fun. Our first live conference. We've been doing conferences for years, but this will be our first GrowthDay conference. Cool. So you got all your notes. You can come back here and edit these things. You can also pin these. I have, for example, a pinned note on the right side because these are things that I'm training my team and I'm training and working on. And this is like systems of growth that I practice for product and design. Like this week, we're talking about design energy, sustaining the energy to design at the next level. So, a lot of people like, oh, I got to work so hard. I got to go work so hard. You just got to work smarter and more, and bring more intention and power, bring more design intention into your life so that you can make sure that you're pointing your energy in directions that actually serve you. And you can architect that and you can be responsible for that. That's something that I'm really passionate about. Oh, nice. I see some of you have got your tickets. So awesome. That's so great that you're going to be there. We're just going to have a ton of fun. It's going to be great. So if I come back to my notes, you can see your past replays. You can see your courses. They're all filtered by the categories and the topics. And then if I end up like really expanding on my notes, you're going to get these inside of the growth profile. So if you want to see what the growth profile is, let me show you what the growth profile is. So you can click your profile at the very top, your name, and click profile. And the growth profile is helpful because the growth profile is kind of like your private growth space where you can put in your big why, your big focus areas. And if you ever need, like, this is like putting an anchor in the sand that says, this is who I am. This is who I want to be this year. This is where I'm going to focus. I got my notes on the right sidebar, but I have these specific areas where I know this is where I'm going to put my big whys. And you can write in your copy and text. Here, I'll even paste in, like, just be completely vulnerable with y'all of y'all. These are mine. These are mine. These are what I really am focused on. These are the intent that I want to bring. And then I have my goals. You got my books and things that I want to do. I can see my completed. And then at the bottom, I have my achievements. Now, we also thought when we built this product that, like, you know, growing and doing it consistently can sometimes be a challenge, right? That's why we need to maintain our energy, bring a lot of consistency into the product, bring a lot of consistency into, like, you know, the things that are actually working for us. And that's why we also created the achievement section. The achievement section allows you to have a sense of awareness around your progress, around your daily, monthly streaks of using the daily life scores and journaling and taking challenges and completing courses. So as you complete courses, you'll earn growth coins and you can see your badges across the milestones that you had. So I've achieved 2 14-day journal streaks. You know, sometimes I miss a day and then I have to start all over, right? So I've completed a lot of 11 7-day streaks, but then I take, you know, day off. And if you miss a day, don't beat yourself up over it. It's okay. You got this. But you can click on these things and go in and see your celebrations of what you've achieved. Kind of like if you've ever experienced like a Duolingo and gamification, or if you've ever played like Pokemon Go and you get the different milestones along the way. We just know that gamification is a valuable thing, but we just want to make sure that we are, you know, serving you and helping you kind of build those habits. And that's what achievements can actually do for you. After you finish a course, you'll see a little component on the course page that allows you to basically download the certificate of completion if you wanted to post it on LinkedIn, show your employers, show them how you're growing and developing a more, you know, intentful life here. This is what you can do. You can download these and share them with your friends. So there we go. We got these. And then also on the Learn section, which I was just kind of like browsing through, we also have these new masterclasses, which these masterclasses show you like all the coaches that are including in these topics. So if you wanted to go in, tap into like reinventing the reinvention masterclass, you can actually go in and watch all the content from the coaches. This is really just a package of like going through 10 different perspectives. How do you put bullet points and make the work when typing? Which section did you see that? Because in the notes section, you can just like highlight it and do like Command B or bold action to do that. If you're in like your journal and you're saying hello world, you can highlight your text and then you can, so you just highlight it and then you can do bold that way. If I was going to go into my notes, okay, yeah. So CW, in your journal, you can just highlight the word and do it in line. If I'm doing my notes, same thing. I would just double click on the word, or I could highlight it, and then I would see the little, no, I can add a link. I can add, you know, sub bullets or number bullets, and I can use my tab if I was to tap in here, do a line break, and I can do tab, and then it would give me like A, B, C as well, the keyboard. Currently today, we can't change the color. We're keeping these like super laser focus right now. But if you know, we get a lot of requests on the types of like controls that we have here. And as much as we want to like make it fully capable, fully functional, like with a lot of different bells and whistles there. We're just being really thoughtful about how much we introduce to the tool, where it doesn't make it feel like it doesn't make it feel too overwhelming. Like, we want this to be your home for personal growth. But I would encourage you also, if you start to do it more and more and more, and you really wish you could color something with different colors, why don't you just feel free to leave a comment by clicking 8 on your keyboard, literally 8 on your keyboard, and then you'll get this modal that will come up. Let me just save this. Okay, 8 on your keyboard, and you'll get this modal that will show up, and then you can give us that feedback. So my computer is kind of catching up here. I've got my life scores. It's 8. So this is what the modal looks like. And the modal is where you can come in and give us the feedback, like found a product issue, give feedback, and you actually earn growth coins when you do these things as well. So that's also down here where it says feedback in the bottom left of the page, and you can get in there. Cool. All right. So I talked about the plan. I didn't go into challenges, but let me just actually join a challenge real quick, and you can see this. So let's just say I wanted to join the high five challenge. I've already taken this challenge, but if I join this challenge, it's going to drop me in. I can watch this video with Mel.
Hey, welcome to the high five challenge.
Mel's going to be talking. I can say, let's go, get into the content, watch the videos from Mel, do the journal, do the exercise, see all the comments from the team over on the right side, actually take notes during this challenge. And then it's a 5-day challenge. So after you do day 1, you go to day 2, you go to day 3, you go to day 4. And that's just a way for you to actually go through these challenges. It's a really fun experience if you've never done it before. And then you can also retake these challenges to level up and get better at it, and just do it on a quarterly basis if you're really trying to focus and improve around these certain areas. I'm going to leave the challenge right now because I've already taken this challenge. But you have the ability to also earn bronze, silver, and gold medals where you get growth coins from completing these actions. It's pretty fun. And it's super fun too if you want to do it with your friends or do it with another GrowthDay strivers. And then, but it's great. If you have a pro or all access, then you can have access to all that content long term. It just kind of it unlocks so much more content for you. And there's been over 170,000 people that have taken this challenge, which is really fun. All right. So we talked about Learn. Community is a great way also to tap in to just sharing and getting more information about what the community is doing. We have pinned messages sometimes for you, like Brennan shared his growth loop. Like I posted about my content coming into the session. There's just all sorts of content. And if you want to be able to connect with members, you can direct message like myself or other messages, people in the community. And I hope that's really helpful for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to the growth group. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I just want to elaborate on a couple really things. Now, if we do have probably room for 2 questions. If anybody had questions about the app and they wanted to write it in, I can chat about it. Or if you want to come up on stage and ask a question too, we can also do that. Just do the raise hand if you want to do that. I'll show you what it looks like. I'll just raise a hand and it comes up. And then after I bring you up on stage, I'll move you back down. No questions. It's totally fine. While you start thinking about if you do have a question, I'm going to talk about these other categories that are super important when it comes to building and sustaining a growth system in GrowthDay. Now, like I was saying earlier, consistency matters. Consistency is so important. But being consistent without focus, it's kind of like you're doing things, but you don't really know why you're doing them. So I want to encourage you to think about if you're going to focus every day, every week, every month, every year on something, I want you to really know what your maybe top 3 focus areas would be for your day. What are the top 3 things that you're going to do? And you can ask yourself those questions before the day starts. You can ask yourself the night before. You can just write down the 3 things. Boom, 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 boom. These are the 3 things I need to do. And then it's important to know where those 3 things fit into your rituals, like the things that you do every week or the things you do every day. Your routines, the morning routine, your evening routine, the things that you're doing to kind of make sure that you're fitting into that cycle. So we want to be able to know those 3 focus areas maybe for your day. I would encourage you to know them for your week, and then know them for your months, and know them for your years. They get bigger, the more time that you have to focus on them. But what I also encourage, for all of my teammates and all the teams that I work with, it's understanding what those things are at the 10,000 foot view down to the micro levels. And when you can step back and kind of go at those different levels, then you start looking at your life and like holistically, and you're like, okay, well, I know where to focus. Now I just need to bring that consistency. And then the third thing that we need is we need a little bit of excitement. We need a little bit of momentum. And how do you build excitement and momentum? Well, you got to bring it back to like your purpose and why you do what you do. Why do you want to get better at something? You know, what's going to motivate you to get better in your relationships and your partnerships and your team member and your like team collaboration and how you like execute things? Like what is going to excite you? Well, maybe it's the outcome. Maybe it's the, you know, trying to double your salary, or maybe it's trying to like get something released, or maybe it's like writing a new book. Maybe it's running a marathon. Whatever that thing is, remember, like, build the excitement into your rituals, routines, and habits every day so that you can sustain that like momentum, that fun, and that energy throughout the entire year. You know, you don't just want to like have this halo effect where you're like super pumped and excited for like 2 months out of the year, and then all of a sudden you're like, boom, you're like done, because you don't remember, like, you don't have the necessity, you don't have the purpose, you don't have the fire behind the things that you do. Like, I just want to find those things, document those in your journal, document those in your plans, and remember, and also in your big why in the growth profile, so that you can go back to that. Like, whenever you feel like maybe you're losing steam, go back to your growth profile, understand your big why, reconnect to it, maybe jump in a growth group, maybe jump in here with me on a Thursday and get fired up about like what it is that you're going to achieve this week, this month, this year, and then get after it. You can also join our Wednesday workshops with Brendan at the first of the month, and then all of our coaches on consecutive Wednesday weeklies. And you can also sign up for courses so you can get that additional training that you need to really take it to a whole nother level, because some of that content in there is priceless. It's so good. And, you know, you gotta go watch it to learn it. The other thing that I like to really focus on with Design Energy is like feedback loops, which is something around like, well, sometimes when you're feeling like you need a little bit more energy, maybe you just need to know where to be focusing energy by getting and receiving feedback. Now, this week or the last couple of weeks, we've been having to give a lot of feedback because we come off the end of the year. We give a lot of feedback to our teams about like performance reviews. You come out of a performance review and you're like, well, how am I doing, and how am I improving on the thing that I was just requested to do and requested to ask and requested to improve? So now you have that feedback session. You got to have some feedback loops with your members or your team or your family, whoever you're working with, to make sure that you are actually working on the things that you said you were going to work on for 2023, right? Like, what are those things for you, and how are you building in some like syncs and some rhythms, like your one-on-ones with your friends, your family, you know, your team? What are the consistent moments that you're reaching out to them and working with them so that you can start kind of building up that momentum, building up that energy, so that you can make sure you're actually like improving this year? Like, let's go. And then the other thing that I like to really think about is this building integrated performance people systems. And for me with this, it's like you have the GrowthDay tool, right? You're here for a reason. You can go and build a system inside your plan of what are the things that you need to do this year, like the top 5 things, or maybe the top 2 things, maybe one thing. Like, what is it gonna be for you that's gonna help you advance and be like 10x better in every area of your life this year? What would that even look like? Is it building just better routines? Is it building better systems? Is it building just an awareness of where you're going to focus today? Just today. What are you going to do today to get it better? And I think it's just like getting confident around like where you spend your time and energy, and just being very reflective and integrating into that growth loop. If you haven't checked out the growth loop, I definitely want to encourage you to check out my last couple sessions. I drew out the growth loop. I help you draw out yours, you know, building a figure 8 and then actually putting in the placements of your growth loop. I know Brendan shared the growth loop inside of inside the community, but I also want you to think about how you're building a growth loop for yourself, so that you know like how you're reflecting, how you're planning, how you're taking action, and how you're learning along the way, and you're just doing this on a consistent basis to help you really have that growth that you love, desire, and that you need. So y'all, I hope you enjoyed this session today. I hope you got something out of it. I'm fired up. Next week, I'm going to be talking about design clarity, which is something that if you have a team, if you have a product that you're building, how to help shepherd that information successfully along the entire journey of a product lifecycle. You know, even if you're not a product manager, you're not a designer, like you could still get value out of it, because if you're working with other people, you need to be able to be excellent at knowledge sharing and be excellent at communicating, collaborating, and executing those things. So I love this stuff. I appreciate you all so much. Oh yes. Hope you have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your weekend. Hope you don't have a rainy day, but if you do, you know, maybe that's okay. You can have fun in that. I hope you're safe. Hope you're healthy. Hope you're strong. We'll see you in the next session. And also, be sure to go get that ticket so we can all hang out in Austin. And this is gonna be it's gonna be fire. It's gonna be so good. So have fun, safe. I'll see you all in the next one. Bless you all. Thanks for using GrowthDay. Appreciate you. See you.